Hello, my name is Karnamrita, and welcome to my site. I really appreciate your coming. The site is called When Bad is Good, Finding the Gems in Misfortune. And this is basically a perspective that I've developed over the years, and it's especially relevant now with a cancer diagnosis that I've had for the last 2.5 years. So this site, I specifically created it because I'm writing a book by the same name, When Bad is Good, and I hope to write a series of books, and it's the name of a lecture and a workshop that I give, which stresses this point, and it's really like a success principle, a law of the universe, if you like. If you look at the lives of great people, men or women who are considered great or inspiring figures, whether it's in the scriptures of the world or it's in the personal growth literature that we find in this country and others. People generally aren't just celebrated if they're born rich and they stay rich, but or they attain great heights from privilege. But when people overcome a lot of obstacles and difficulties, even life-threatening situations, and they go through those and they become stronger and they develop character that we find inspiring, that calls to us that we can be more than we thought we could be. Much more, actually. So for me, this lecture I created a year and a half after a cancer diagnosis, 2 years and a half. And I traveled, I probably gave it about 15 times. Originally it was called Facing Death to Live Life More Fully. It's perhaps a little too ominous for people, but it is a subject that I cover a lot, because having cancer or any life-threatening disease means just that. You have to come face to face with your mortality. And personally, that was the beginning of my spiritual journey. When I was in my late teens, I had out-of-body experiences, near-death experiences, as close as you can get to an ego death. So that was a very pivotal time in my life that I embarked on a spiritual quest. And I went search the different religions and find a path that I related to. And I was a monk in a Hindu tradition for about 12 years. And then I discovered that I needed to do emotional work. And I wasn't able to actually transcend the world as I had naively thought. It's not really the purpose of spiritual practice. It's really to enter into the world. It's really not life denying, but life affirming. That's what spirituality is about. But this site, yeah, part of it is about the spiritual quest and the spiritual journey, but in a broader sense, it's about facing death and our mortality and seeing it as a way, as an impetus for living life more fully, whatever your belief system might be. Of course, for me personally, when I teach, it's important for people to have some sense of belief in a higher power, that it's a purposeful universe. There's many spiritual and religious paths, so that's part of the message. But another part is just from my own near-death experience and studying many other near-death experience books, and the idea of the life review, when your whole life goes before you, you see it from a higher perspective, not the ego perspective, and you see yourself interacting with people and significant events, and you also see it from that person's perspective. So we generally think it's like a law, encouragement or a moral principle, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, but it's really a law of the universe, that whatever you do comes back. You can talk about this in a lot of different ways. But anyway, I created this lecture and the book based on it from understanding this fact, and that in order to be peaceful, we need to deal with our life issues. There's also a lot of ways to do that. But there's also, from nurses, they have outlined different regrets that people have at the time of death. So it's good to be able to think about that and deal with it, confront it, and understand everyone has a purpose. Everyone has a mission, a life direction. So it's really essential that we outline that. I mean, it may take your life. Like myself, I had a basic spiritual mission, but it took cancer to kind of say, you really need to make a contribution. You really need to share who you are and what you've learned over the years. And that's what this site is about in as many ways as I can. As on the spiritual growth, certainly, personal growth, which means horizontal development, being a good person, having character, having a sense of mission and direction in your life, contribution, and doing that in relation to any kind of higher power that you think there are. Because after all, if we are a soul actually having a human experience, then it behooves us to really do something to realize that, not just use our spirituality, our belief in God as just extra strength for playing the game better on this plane of the earth, but to really be a better person and understand that basically our problems come from misconceptions of who we are, thinking we're our mind or our body or whatever, physicality. That's what divides us. We think we're the body. I relate to people with beards, or people that have hair, or people that don't have hair, or people that are white, or people that are black, or men, or women, or Americans, or Russians, or so many ways that we separate ourselves from each other and from our maker, so to speak. So this site is about my cancer journey, healing by alternative means, and it's for anyone who's suffering from cancer or any kind of life-threatening illness, that it actually can be a real blessing for you. Any difficulty, reverse, heartbreak. Napoleon Hill said that. I give a quote under this video. So that's part of it, and providing you resources for healing, and just making peace with your past, forgiving who you need to forgive, forgiving yourself, seeking forgiveness, just understanding your particular nature in this body, who you are, who you need to be to feel satisfied, and connecting that to your spirituality. So this is just a little summary of what's going to be on the site, and I hope you'll come back and you'll leave some feedback for me so I know I'm on the right track. Thank you.